And then my
I've
other
had,
request
I've had,
is,
sorry, what?
and then is there a way that you can pin your video so that you're like the big part of it? Or I don't know what your screen looks like. Mine has like one big part and then one little part.
Okay. So I had two equal sized parts side by side. I've got it
Perfect.
now where mine is the big,
Okay.
you're the little one up on top.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so hi, my name is Mallory Williams, and I'm here interviewing Robin Jarvis for the Culver Stockton Oral History in Blue and White project. Today is Wednesday, April 14th of 2021. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here with you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to start off pretty easy. So, can you tell us a little bit about where you were born and what it was like there?
Oh, okay. So I was born in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. My dad was stationed in the Coast Guard in Norfolk, Virginia. So that those are close by each other. And I only lived there until I was 3, so I don't really remember a whole lot about it. When I was 3, we moved back to Wisconsin, which is where my parents were from, and we settled there. So, and what I can tell you about Wisconsin is that it's cold most of the time. And I much
Okay.
prefer living in Missouri.
Wow, that's saying something. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. Do you want like my immediate family or my
Yeah,
parents or
whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
okay? So I have a mom and dad and a sister. She's 7 years younger than I am, so there's quite a bit of an age difference between us. And she lives in New York now, kind of upstate New York, a more rural area of New York, not New York City or anything like that. I live here in Canton with my husband Kevin. We've been married. It'll be 25 years in September, and we have 2 sons. My oldest son, Remington, is finishing up his very last class here at Culver Stockton College. He will have a major in theater. So he graduates in May. And my younger son, Alexander, is a junior here at Culver Stockton College, and he is doing dual degrees in biological chemistry and health science with a rehabilitation track. He wants to be a physical therapist. So
Okay, that's
they're getting
actually what
close to
I'm
the
doing.
end of their academic career.
That's so exciting. So beyond your children coming here, and can you explain to us a little bit about what you do and your connection to Culver Stockton?
Sure. I've got kind of deep roots here. In 2004, I started in the admissions office as an admissions assistant, and I worked there for about 7 years. And during that time, I worked really hard to earn my bachelor's degree here. And so I hold a bachelor's degree in religion and philosophy from the college. And after I spent those 7 years in admissions, I decided it was time for a little bit of a break. I wanted to do something else for a while. So I left to pursue some other options. And in 2014, I had the opportunity to come back um, as the director of online programs here. So I did that. I came back and I worked with a lot of adult students who were returning to school, kind of similar to what I did. You know, I earned my degree a little bit later in life. And so it was really nice to work with students that were pursuing kind of that same trajectory and help them earn their degrees. I just know what a difference having a degree made in my own life. So I did that. And as I was doing that, I was working a lot with the MBA program as an advisor for students that were coming into the MBA. And I always thought to myself, you know, I'm advising students through a program that I've never done. So I went ahead and I completed the MBA program here so that I could be a better advisor to students. And that really opened a lot of doors for me. And it led me here to career services, where I am still advising students in just a different role. And I really enjoy what I do.
That's awesome. You do have deep roots here, like you said.
I do. I've been
So,
here a long time.
so way back as a student, what drew you to Culver Stockton?
Well, I was a non-traditional student. So you know, it was me just kind of taking an opportunity that came up. When I worked in the admissions office, one of the benefits of working here is that you get free tuition for yourself and for your dependents. So I thought, well, I'll just take a class at a time or whatever. And it took me, I came in with an associate's degree. I had a degree in accounting from a junior college. And it took me probably another 5 years to complete my 4-year degree. But you just do it a piece at a time and you eventually get through it. So, my experience was a little bit different than the traditional student coming in. I just kind of took an advantage of an opportunity that was there.
I understand. So although you were a non-traditional student, so your answer to this may be a little bit different. Can you tell us, were there any main differences, do you think, from being a student at that point in time in Culver Stockton history to present day Culver Stockton?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can tell you one of the big differences in the education. When I decided to pursue my bachelor's degree here, I talked to several people. I was not very confident in my ability to be a good student. It had been so long since I had been in a classroom, and I just thought that maybe I would not be successful at that point in my life. And one of the stories that I always heard, this is a horror story, right? Back then when I was doing this, we had a course called Christian Heritage. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay. So currently we have old Hebrew Bible, New Testament, and Religion in America. You can choose from one of those 3 courses, right, to complete your religion requirement here.
Yeah.
Well, back when I did my degree, back in the day, right? When I did my degree, those 3 courses were combined into one course called Christian Heritage. So I'm sure that you've heard stories about how difficult, how challenging our religion courses are here now, right? Now imagine
Yes.
combining all 3 of those into one. And I was terrified. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this course first. And if I can't make it through it, that'll be a sign that I'm not meant to do college right now. So I
Oh
took
my
the course,
goodness.
scared to death the first day that I walked in there that I was going to fail it. And I started doing the, proceeding through the course, and I loved it. I learned so much. And it was so different from like Sunday school and Bible studies and things like that. We just approached it through a totally different lens. And it was so fascinating to me that I ended up taking another religion course. I was like, I like this one so much, I'm going to take another one. So my degree, my intended degree at the time was accounting. I was going to finish, I had an associate degree in accounting, so I was going to pursue that further and get my bachelor's degree. Well, I took a religion class, and then I took another religion class, and I just liked it so much that I switched my major to religion and philosophy.
That's very interesting. I'm glad that you found something that you liked so much.
Thank you. I am too. It was a good academic path for me. And now,
Good.
since I have degrees in accounting and religion, I'm very well qualified to count my blessings.
Yes. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. Okay. So do you have any memories at Culver Stockton of maybe an event or something that the students have put on even that really sticks out as something memorable in your time here?
I kind of figured that you were going to ask that question about what some of my favorite memories are. And definitely, so, I've been here a long time, so I have a lot of memories. My memories revolve around 2 things, and that's the people that are here, whether that's students or faculty and staff that I've had the privilege of working with over the years. And the other type of memory that really sticks out in my head is regarding the beauty of this campus. I have seen so many amazing sunrises over the quad. I remember one time I was coming to work early in the morning, and it was one of those kind of foggy, misty mornings, probably in the fall or the spring. And I was driving up the concourse, and as I came up to that first curve, this buck deer came bounding across the quad, and it was like something out of like an old English movie or something like that, where you see the stag come bounding through the forest.
Wow.
That sticks out in my head. A lot of athletic events stick out in my memory, a lot of fine arts events. My son was in the Monty Python play that they put on a year or 2 ago. And I laughed so hard at that. I wish I could go and see that every night. It's It's things like that. And it might not be any one particular huge big event, but there's so many cool memories that I have that are just kind of, grouped together. Senior dinners, senior videos. I love the senior videos. I think those are hilarious. Um, so it's just it's hard to pick just one thing because there's so many things.
Absolutely. So you hit on a little bit the beauty of our campus, and that is very true, especially in the spring and the fall when all the leaves are changing colors or all the flowers are blooming. Do you have a favorite spot on campus?
I have several favorite spots. I've been lucky to always have, I was just looking out the window thinking, I've been lucky to have offices with great views. For a while, I was up on the third floor of the Herrick Center and it looked out over the quad. And I remember rainy days where the rain would kind of clear off and the sun would poke out and there would be a rainbow over the river. You'd look out over the river and see the rainbow. Um, in career services, I'm in the Gladys Crown Student Center, and my permanent office, looks out over the fountain that's out that back area where they're doing the construction right now. So that's always a favorite place. I just love to walk around campus. There's beauty everywhere, but I would say the quad is probably one of my favorite places.
I think so too. It's a beautiful view for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any people, either in administration or maybe a specific student that you've worked with, that have really stood out in your memory of Culver Stockton or made an impact on you at Culver Stockton or with relation to Culver Stockton?
Person that has made the biggest impact on my life here is Dr. Delangiani. She's a fantastic mentor. She is a strategic leader. I admire her so much for her ability to see the big picture in things, and as far as planning and the direction of the college. I'm more of a I guess a more detail oriented thinker. I'm an executor. I'll take the plan and execute it. The ideas that she comes up with are amazing to me. But I've been impacted by almost every single person on this campus, from the registrar, working with the registrar. She's an amazing leader. To our provost, Dr. Schellenberger. She's an amazing leader, and just people that I work with here every day. And as far as students, there's too many to mention. I would feel bad if I mentioned one student by name and forgot other students that I've developed a relationship with over the years. But when I was in the admissions office, we had a lot of student workers that would come through. And so I still follow them on social media, and it's it's a little it's great, but it's a little unsettling to see them go from a student at Culver Stockton College to starting their careers to getting married, and now they're having kids. And it just reminds you how quickly time marches on.
Yes, definitely. Um, Speaking of time at Culver Stockton, how do you see any ways in your everyday life, granted that you're still here, that your time at Culver Stockton has really impacted you or benefited you in life?
Oh, absolutely. Just the relationships that you develop here. I've got lifelong friends that I've made here. And I don't think that's too different from being a student. When you're a student, you develop your network here, and those are some lifelong friendships. So I have people that I've met here, and people come and go. But some of them I still keep in touch with and I'm good friends with. And I'm sure that when it's my time to leave, I will keep hold those relationships close as well.
Okay, this is my last question for you, and it's, do you have any advice for current or future Culver Stockton students?
I think my biggest piece, so I have two, I guess, and it both revolves around your education. And my first piece of advice is be serious about your education here. Take advantage of this opportunity because it will change your life. Education will change your life. And so I guess my second piece of advice goes along with that, and that is to never stop learning. Be a lifelong learner. Pursue whether it's another degree. I also pursued my MBA through here, and that opened a lot of doors for me. But just whatever your profession is, or your trade, or whatever it is in life that you're doing, always seek more knowledge about that thing, because knowledge is power and nobody can ever take it away from you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed talking with you and working
You
through
are
some
so
technical
welcome.
difficulties.
That's okay. We
Um,
overcame them, right?
Absolutely, yes. So is there a way that you can send me this recording, or we have been like posting them to YouTube and sending links or whatever works for you?
Let me stop the recording here.
Okay.
Do you want to stop recording? Yes.